So I want to take you guys on a journey of Afrofuturism. And Afrofuturism is a term that was coined by Mark Derry in 1994 in his essay, Black to the Future. Now, Afrofuturism is a term that is used to describe work that explores exclusively black themes through science fiction, through fantasy, through horror, and techniculture. Afrofuturism often asks the question, what does blackness look like in the future? I write her. Now, she's my personal favorite because she wrote a story called Fledgling, a story of a 53-year-old vampire in a 10-year-old's body. Now, what made this vampire extra special was she could walk in the daylight whereas other vampires couldn't, and it was because of her melanin. So what? Yeah. simple idea.
Futurism, or legend and myths and stories were taught to me by my mother. And she is a great storyteller as well as a pediatrician. So I'd have to say that her stories were truly science fiction, truly. I remember her telling me stories about the way if I ate a pumpkin, my hair would grow. Or which is strange, if I attached leeches to my nipples, my breasts would grow. And also, I didn't. And also, she would talk about the way that in the Kikuyu tradition, if you circle the muhuma tree 7 times, you would change sex. Growing up, obviously, past my mother's stories, I began to read stories of my own, and they were inevitably with the ogre and the young girl who wandered off into the forest, and what would happen if she wandered off into the forest, and how she would meet this horrible ogre because she departed from the ways of the society. And that's also when I met Ben Okri, and the idea of the spirit child, and the idea of using spiritualism or mythical realism within storytelling. And that, for me, is also a link to Afrofuturism.
Afrofuturism is where you take Afrocentric concepts and you fuse that with futurism. So you have Afrofuturism. So what do you do with that? What does that mean, Afrofuturism? Well, I'm a little grown up a little bit in age here, and my introduction to Afrofuturism was Lieutenant Uhura, Star Trek. Gene Roddenberry created this fantastic character. Michelle Nichols is this amazing actress. She took the role. She almost quit the role, actually, and Reverend King convinced her to stay with the part. So that was my first introduction, because prior to that, there were no black people in outer space. Second introduction, Lando Calrissian. Now, Lando, yes, it's true. Lando was the only black person in the galaxy. He was. It's true. But somehow, Lando was able to make his way and destroy a second Death Star, by the way. He did pretty good with that. So these were my introductions to science fiction, to speculative fiction, to seeing people who look like me, like my children, how they would exist in a science fiction and a fantasy environment. So I'm good at drawing black people in spaceships. That's what I'm good at.
The narrative will always glorify the hunter until the lion itself learns how to write. Or you could say it slightly differently. Until the lion learns how to write, every story will glorify the hunter.